touch you more. The facts should hide in the shattered soul. Lazy next to us. Are you alive or just breathing? Is it living when you're dreaming? I'll be gone and come on, leaving note. Are you alive or just breathing? Does God know it when you're kneeling? 'Cause when I'm gone, I hope you can say grace. I hope you can say grace. Dead asleep, you're seeing shadows. Avengers awake under your pillow. I sense your feet crawling down your back, and the haunting bats in the shade of black. I lay there next to her. Are you alive or just breathing? Is it living when you're dreaming? I'll be gone and come on, leaving note. Are you alive or just breathing? Does God know it when you're kneeling? 'Cause when I'm gone, I hope you can see ghosts. I hope you can see ghosts. You made up all my darkest days. You're the one that left me wide awake. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just a saint in your core. You can take back all my darkest days. You're the only one that's worth the pain. I'm not afraid anymore. Oh, I hope you can see ghosts. You made up all my darkest days. You're the one that left me wide awake. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just a saint in your core. You can take back all my darkest days. You're the only one that's worth the pain. I'm not afraid anymore. Oh, I hope you can see ghosts.
It's been a roller coaster, but you stayed. And now I'm taking over for the day. 'Cause I can be what you wanna be. And I can feel but you love me. Take me to a place I'm calling for. Open up the doors I'm knocking on. I'm losing control. Be the one to leave my fantasy. Show you, baby, your hands all over me. No, I'll never let go. 'Cause now I'm falling for love. Now I'm falling for love. Now I'm falling for you. Now I'm falling for love. Now I'm falling for love. Now I'm falling for you. And I'm losing my mind for the days. 'Cause you and I will never fade. And I could be you laugh at me? Take me to a place I'm calling for. Open up the doors I'm knocking on. No, I'm losing control. Be the one to leave my fantasy. Show you crave your hands all over me. No.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Risen Dominates Series Week 7, where we're going to see Genesis Gaming take on Scott's Tots in the first game of the best of 3 today. I'm Aaron Canadian Head, joined by Mads. How are you feeling today, Mads?
I am feeling absolutely excellent, and I am incredibly hyped for this game. We have Genesis versus Scott's Tots, so I am personally very excited to see the way that this goes. Absolutely.
Are you much of an Office fan?
Am I much of an Office fan?
Yeah.
I mean, as much as anybody else who's barely seen the show.
Disappointing. So do you know where Scott's Tots are?
No.
Oh, that's really sad. Alright. Never mind. Okay. Alright, see the first few bands come in. We have a focus on Rek'Sai in the jungle and a few supports afterwards. Especially with Nautilus being put everywhere, basically, except for bot. I want to take that out as well. I'm seeing a few more supports. What are you thinking so far?
I'm thinking that Lulu ban that we're just seeing now is entirely warranted. Lots of pretty solid, very justified bans coming through. We've seen a lot of Pyke gameplay, especially at this level of play. That Rek'Sai ban. Rek'Sai has certainly been much more of a present force this patch, last patch, most of this season, especially Conqueror Rek'Sai. So it's not at all surprising to me to see this lineup of bans. And that Morgana pick is very much so to be expected.
I don't expected as such a power pick, especially like I've seen mostly the jungle and bot lanes be picked in the first round of picks, so I'm just seeing how these actually end up going within this little first round. Seeing Vladimir be picked up as the first pick on the side of Scott's Tots, though. By the way, I've seen probably The Office maybe 11-12 times, so I'm quite familiar with who the Scott's Tots are. Don't worry, guys.
I really hope your Scott's Tots knowledge is going to be able to carry us through this adventure. I needed that. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna give it a little. I'll explain this, okay? So, Scott's Tots, Michael Scott, the runner of The Office, okay? He promises grade 3s. Sorry, if you haven't seen the show yet, sorry, spoilers. It's been out for years. So, Scott's Tots, he goes to grade 3s. He promises them in 10 years he's gonna pay for their tuition if they graduate grade 12. Come grade 12, 10 years later, he comes in and they're all called Scott's Tots, okay? And then he comes back to the school, he gets invited, and these students are really excited that they're gonna get free tuition because Michael Scott thought that he was gonna be some millionaire guy, okay? He wasn't. Spoilers. So instead, he just came and was like, hey guys, I can't pay for your tuition, but you know what every student needs? Laptops. And then because you know what every laptop needs? Batteries. So then he gives all the students batteries instead of their college tuition.
So let's talk about that Ashe pick that we just saw here. Personally, I'm very intrigued by this Ashe pick directly into that Jinx. It's not a bad pick per se. It's one of my personal favorites. Whenever somebody picks away the singular champion I play. I mean, Jinx is such a strong pick in this particular patch. Not a lot of things really rival the late game scaling of the Jinx that we've seen so far. That Hecarim, of course, a very nice thing to offset that hard scaling get them a nice early game presence, especially against a lane like an Ashe Morgana, where that Morgana is certainly the player to watch out for here.
For sure, seeing that's probably going to be extremely powerful, and now again seeing a Cho'Gath instead of the jungle picked up in the first round of picks on the side of Genesis Gaming, as well as no support on the side of Scott's Totts. We're seeing a focus, a 1-1 on each side, having a jungler by on both sides, but then a support on Genesis and Braum, and Rise on Scott's Totts. Wanting to kind of unleaven those out to figure out where they actually what they actually want to focus on in the bans.
For sure. And that being said, seeing 3 support bans for one side certainly speaks some pretty heavy volumes about what they're expecting out of Scott's Totts. So definitely a lane to watch here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few pretty early Skarner ganks. Wow, I speak English. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some pretty early presence from that Skarner, as well as what we're expecting out of that Hecarim. So lots of bot lane focus to be expected. And yeah.
It's the last pick coming in with Karma and the bot lane as is what they actually finish on after having all those bans put towards them. Then a Gnar to be countered against the Cho'Gath.
Ooh.
Just seeing how these two actually come out. Haven't seen either of these champions very much within most leagues, so I'm excited to see how these two pair up, if it's going to be like they were before, with Gnar's having the range advantage mostly, and able to dominate or change.
I mean, and that's the thing too, is that a lot of the Gnar gameplay that we have seen lately did come after that Conqueror change, and especially with Fleet Footwork Gnar coming into play, it's certainly been a very interesting ride. That being said, we do have Conqueror on both of our junglers, as well as that Ignite Hecarim that we've seen so prominently lately. So that's relatively exciting. Another thing I'd like to bring up here, in the bot lane here, we do have the heal Karma and the cleanse Jinx. That is such an important decision that Jinx has made. She has sacrificed one of her standard traditional defensive summoners for the cleanse of please Skarner, stop eating me.
And even if Skarner does get cleansed out, they still have Morgana Binding, they still have an Ashe Crystal Arrow, so they have all those different ideas of where to go with the attacks. But looks like both are going to go for a little invade on the top side of this map.
We could see a traditional, slightly less than traditional 5v5 on the top side here, and if they just happen to walk past each other ever so slightly, everything will be fine. And that they do. All right.
Everything's perfectly fine.
They have successfully slip and slided their way past each other.
But will they? Because it seems like Red's headed on the way back, but they're splitting up. No.
Yeah, it looks like Red. Yeah, it looks like Scott's Totts might be doubling back here to catch them out.
Yeah. Here, Narsing back to get the one portal.
Oh no.
Narsing.
Caught?
But Hecarim coming around to see Ashe. Still scaring people away. Nothing really happening outside of this. Vital. All pushed up, but not gonna be a problem.
What an interesting invade.
And that happened.
That is a thing that we have seen today, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. I gotta hand it to Scott's Totts and Genesis for being the first uneventful top lane invade that I've ever seen.
Dude, as a 5-on-5, just nothing really happening outside of that. If you look around, not much at this point, seeing a spell thesis for both ports, especially with the cleanse really the most helpful thing outside of these. We have the spellbook on Cho'Gath. I haven't seen that very often. Usually see other grasp, they keep him in lane to really maximize the passive that he has to make sure that he stays in lane even longer. But...
For sure. Now, that being said, I'm very intrigued to see the way that this top lane goes, particularly because realistically Gnar should win this. and there's no doubt in my mind that Nar should just be able to look at this Cho'Gath, shut him down, and win the lane. But there's a lot of things that could go wrong there, particularly Cho'Gath getting a good teleport off, Hecarim existing, Skarner existing at all. And there's a lot that could sway this in Cho'Gath's favor, but it's pretty safe to say that Pinf? Yes. Yeah, Pinf is definitely not in what we would consider an optimal matchup.
Definitely not, considering they are actually picked up in the first round of picks. So just allowing side of Scott's Totts to just be able to do what they want. But here comes Doc in the bot lane, trying to jump on to the Ashe, flash away from the Ashe, has the volley to slow them down, chasing after the Morgana. Karma gets stunned up. Here comes Karzix as well. Telerix. He can, but he just walks in and flashes out as he takes too much damage. Ashe takes one rocket, flash forward from the Morgana, able to hit the binding on Doc. That's gonna be it as Goliath pays for their life and a double kill for Quang.
Just like that. You good there?
What's his name? What's Jinx's name?
Quanks.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I said.
Is it? Alright. But yeah, just like that, a professional clown fiesta in the first of our bot lane jungle presence, going over in favor to Scott's Tots. Very interesting that Jinx didn't really have to pop her cleanse at all there, and still managed to come out on top of that. It's so unfortunate for Genesis, though.
Right here, seeing Cho'Gath already using all his mana. Really rough place to be for this Cho'Gath. I mean, just probably the only way they can actually still stay in this lane. He has a passive, so every minion he gets mana and health back. But even with that, they're looking rough for his mana pool when he's facing a player who doesn't have any mana. I say that as someone who's, I don't know how many mastery points on him I have.
A hot couple, you know,
yeah.
Maybe like 12.
Probably, at least.
Yeah, at least 12. I agree with that. Alright. So let's take a little peek-see-doodle here at what we have going on in the bot lane. Quanks is currently a BF sword to Ashe's boots and dagger, which is interesting. And not only that, Quanks is still holding on to that cleanse, which means that Morgana has to be so careful with these bindings. 100% has to be sure that if they're going to throw a binding, that there is something to handle the cleanse. Whereas, alternatively, Quanks has free reign here to just assert his lane dominance, especially with those double buffs. That is super dangerous. So it's... I was gonna say, it's fair to say Stellarex has his work cut out for him here.
Stellarex, oh, for sure. Saying that the Hecarim has the power, especially like in the early game with the speed that Hecarim has. He's able to just leave lane, get them buffs, but also has the Onslaught Shadows, has the pushing with the speed of himself, just able to easily get to any lane he wants. That's a very early push onto the Drake as it's Ocean Drake. Wind that quickly. I want the other team to have it either, but here comes a huge no with the stun, with the CC on Pim, flashing away to stay alive.
Very nice trade. Exactly what Vital wants here. Forcing Pinf to burn that flash is so important, especially with the mobility of that Gnar.
Sure. See, these stacks from Feast start to stack up onto Cho'Gath. They want him to get a huge tank in the team fights, so really getting this started as soon as possible is needed.
For sure. Now, that being said, in the mid lane, I'd like to point out that Foreign Guy is currently doing, well, he's currently going even with with our homeboy Tea Latte, as you do. Sai? Sai Tea? I don't... Sai, okay. That's gonna
Did you not read that?
Yeah. Well, you see. It's fine. And the fact that he's breaking even in a lane like that, to me, is concerning. I feel as though he should be pushing for a little bit more of an advantage. I'm not really sure if it's going to cause him issues anytime soon here. Probably not, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
So you think that that side T-Latte shouldn't have much pressure in the mid lane, but a huge Gnar once again on Cho'Gath, but he has a little more health to survive. He's starting to slow down, but still Eric's just trying to get his own crystal, but he's going to be taking down 4 side T-Latte, and also be picked up onto as he jumps over the wall, but Onslaught of Shadows jumping over, trying to fear. Foreign guy flashing forward for the kill in the mid.
Exactly, that is what we're talking about here. Foreign guy forcing that, just the champion advantage that he has there. Vladimir has so many outs that anything that Azir tries to do is essentially immediately negated. That in Azir, at this point in the game, doesn't have the damage output to deal with something like that. And now that he's gotten that first kill in this lane, flash or no flash, it's certainly pushed for the advantage that he needs.
Right there, he's still getting hit with a tremendous soil, but not even enough damage to do because they still end up on top on side of Scott's Totts. That's playing a great job on holding it off. Especially Blonde Halfling having the short cooldown on his mantra of his ultimate. They make life so much easier. Here we go in the mid lane. Doc coming in, knocking T-Latte alive. He doesn't have the Emperor's Revive because he used that just earlier, but suppression underneath the tower. Doc almost down, but not just yet. Stellaris in 2v1 because he stuns out the Doc. Doc is going to go down. Foreign guy, last one alive. Flash forward from Foreign guy. He's going to get the kill.
Very nicely played. And that is exactly the retaliation that Genesis needed to essentially shove themselves back into a chance at this game, especially with the steep advantage that Scott's Totts has dug themselves here. So it's very nice to see that happen. Wow, okay. Quake's hitting such an easy, clean Jinx ult, just like that. Easy 3-0. Very nicely done. I need to go pick up my phone because I accidentally threw it off my desk.
This is a crazy game. I can do that.
It's ridiculous. It's just the sheer energy. Just yoinked my phone from my hand.
Having the 3-0, having the 3 turret planings as well as adding to their lead, having just so much of a dominance pressure. They have 2k gold over the other lane, or Quangs, doing so well in that side.
So I've been told it's Quang X.
Quang X.
Quang X. Both of us are wrong. Yikes. Alright.
Quang X coming in with a 2k gold lead up over their fellow laner. That's in a full Infinity Edge, full item started off as the Empiric Center, the one bought by O'Shea, as it's on the other side.
Now a 10-minute power spike like that for a Jinx player essentially means game over unless they get 4-man sooner rather than later. That is so huge for them.
Or if we see the Cho'Gath just get a little bit too much health for the Jinx to deal with, outside of that, don't see much. The Emperor's Divide and Stellar doing well, but
he has 30 CS behind this Gnar, which, to his credit, Pink has done an incredible job of staying alive and denying that kill gold, but he is still 30 CS behind the Gnar.
There we go, a flash forward to Super Mega Death Rocket, but he goes golden. Oh, it just allows time for them to walk in. And that's 4 kills for the Ashe. For the Jinx in the bot lane.
A very late stopwatch. Could have prevented a little bit of that damage, wasn't really able to. And they are moving too fast for me to read that name. I'm so sorry. Galith wasn't able to make their way over in time. Very unfortunate.
The Goliath?
Gallia? Goliath? Wait, wow. Wait a minute.
Goliath?
Goliath, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Goliath?
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 And I see that, so, whatever their name is, seeing them play focus on to the Dragon once again as a second Ocean Drake spawns up, adding so much more power to those soul laners as well as Karma on the side. But here comes Doc right before Emperor's Divide, gonna knock him out of the tower. Here's the Shadows, able to make it out. And Foreign guy gonna kill him before anything else can happen.
Very unfortunate attempt at pulling through there, but T-Latte certainly giving it his all there. Foreign guy able to come and pick up that kill. Super huge for mid lane, especially considering that he's still holding his own in CS. Very nicely done.
Doing a great job even with the proto belt under this pocket. Not able to pull too much of a lead for himself. Ocean Drake being taken once again. Ash on the other side trying to steal, but they have a jungler. Their team does not. It's God's Totts. Coming once again. How they get this second Drake.
Very dangerous rotations coming out of the Totts squad today. But yeah, that being said, Genesis is definitely going to have to step up their game if they want any chance of pulling through this.
Oh sure, here's Goliath getting once again just sheer power onto Goliath. And it's gonna be another kill. But looking at the top lane, him actually switched, used this spellbook to switch to Ignite. Are they planning on getting a kill anytime soon? Maybe that works out. Now we see the first tower get taken in the bottom lane as they lose Goliath themselves.
Now, Vital is absolutely just shoving the CS lead. We could potentially see a first tower out of top lane at any a second tower out of top lane at any given point here. As Quang X has simply demolished bot lane with the assistance of Blonde Halfling.
I'm sure getting a great job. See Cho'Gath going for the Rod of Ages against the Black Cleaver Star from Gnar. I've seen Cho'Gath build Rod of Ages a while ago. I've usually seen it maybe switch to a other Solari, or I forget what they're called. I know items, but here comes an Onslaught Shadows fleeing Slander's away, actually a little bit too slow. Vital not gonna get there fast enough. He has Mega Gnar very soon with the next ability. But we're just a little bit too late as Stellaris able to make it out quickly.
And could be in a little bit of danger there. Stellaris making their way out there. It means that that repair is essentially free for the top squad, as it were. That being said, I don't think Quang X has had to burn their cleanse more than once this game. Is that right? At all?
No. It's just been sheer power from the members of not able to hit side T-Latte, still able to make it out with the Ignite taking.
The Shurima shuffle all the way out of there. Unfortunately, the Onslaught of Shadows wasn't available. Wasn't able to pick up that kill.
For sure, and here we see Cho'Gath using the Ignite, trying to get the knockout flashpoint from Goliath.
Oh
Mega
no!
Gnar has a feast, but he has to get close enough to use it at this point. Not to get the knockup. He gets silenced. Blonde Halfling able to make it there in time to save him. Goliath goes down to Blonde Halfling. Him needs to make it out quickly. It's only him. He gets the feast with a shutdown flash forward against Stellaris, and you can see the only two to defend the turret in the mid lane.
Now, there is a very dangerous thing that's happening here, and Scott's Totts is playing a pretty dangerous game in the sense that all of their kills at the moment are on Jinx, with the exception of, Vladimir and the miscellaneous kills. But the vast majority, the bulk of their gold is sitting on this Jinx's shoulders. And that essentially puts the largest target on her back. Lucky for her, she just hit her Runan's power spike, which means that if anybody even looks in her general direction, she's allowed to tell them to sit down. But outside of that, if they get a generally solid focus going, and she gets caught in any way, shape, or form, it could certainly spell out trouble.
Just keep an eye on where that Jinx is, where Quang X is heading next, and play accordingly at that point.
Just stare at her and literally handcuff yourself to that Jinx. Never leave her alone. Ever.
There you go.
Yeah.
On the bolt control where it's being used on top. Just make sure they deny vision.
They don't want that bush warded.
Just in case. Just in case there's one outside the range of one of those wards. Place one on top.
What do you do when you don't want a bush warded? Do you not double pink ward it?
every time.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
If I was allowed to have 3, I would place 3 down.
Exactly.
Telling only
That's
one.
what we're here for.
Placed, but...
We're here for the secure mission.
Amen.
But all horrible memes aside, Quang X and Blonde Appling looking for a shove in the top lane will get contested. We have seen Pink switch over to an exhaust. Could spell out trouble for Quang in a bit here, but it is certainly something to keep an eye on.
I'm sure definitely gonna keep an eye on that moving forward. Both Origin Drake's Infernal is the next dragon up. I'm sure we're gonna see Scott's Totts place effort on that very soon. It seems like that's where they're headed just as we speak. Foreign guy inside T Latte chilling in the bot lane as this Infernal Drake gets taken for the 3rd dragon of the game. That's gonna be 6k gold up for themselves. Doing quite well as they just take their lead and push forward even further.
Definitely. Now that being said, looks like we're going to end up seeing a 4-1 here in the mid lane. Foreign guy going to be solo shoving at that bot lane. That's certainly a questionable decision. Unless we end up seeing... Yeah, looks like we're gonna see some rotations out there.
Right here we see the Baron being focused. Inside that they need to do something else besides that. Looks like we're gonna see him try to take out Doc with Onslaught Shadows, able to get him over the wall. Charles being used Twin Shadows to make sure there's no chase. Inside that. Oh my goodness, the damage from Side T Latte on Azir is really incredible. On to Vladimir by the Emperor's Divide, knocking his foreign guys. He's in the ground. That's gonna be a huge flash as Side T Latte gets taken out in the bot lane.
Very nice outplay for foreign guy, but something that I found interesting is the choice to send Tai T Latte down to deal with foreign guy after that laning phase. Was certainly questionable to say the least.
But here we see it's a huge play to try to kill underneath the tower, but him not gonna fall as he has just a little bit too much health at this point. He does fall. Not too much as Quang X trying to push forward. Gonna take a few tower shots himself, but he says they don't even care as that is a Horus coming up right behind, and Osh gonna be falling as well.
Very unfortunate, but Doc coming in to deliver the meta sun and able to secure that tower relatively easily.
You see Foreign guy just easily pushing bottom lane with no pressure, as all that was happening in the top lane, and Scott's Totts was still able to come in on top of that whole fight. See Baron spawn up. See Baron probably being put towards the eyes of Scott's Totts. On the other side, Genesis Gaming, Dodge. Really carrying at this point, we see 4 out of 5 of their players are on the bottom side. 5 out of 5 of their players are on the bottom side of the map. Only Morgana heading up to actually try to see what's happening. Actually a little too close. As Doc is there, he's moving forward, he's going quick, Goliath, popping the black shield, popping the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough as Doc going to get a solo kill.
Very unfortunate flash out of Goliath. And just like that, that is essentially a free Baron. Foreign guy is on his way, will not get there in time for this particular fight though.
You would think it's a free Baron, but they just don't even care about it. They say, we don't need this Baron to kill you guys. The Lyric's having to flash over the wall to stay alive. Sad trying to slow him down. Here comes Doc, has to slow down as well. Volley slowing everyone down. But outside of that, it's still a push on the side of Scott's Totts. That's a Nard jumping forward, placing the turret, but not going to be enough. They don't care either, as that's 2 kills for the Horse falls. But Jinx going to be there as well, dealing damage to everyone. Hint, not going to stand as he has the health. Gonna destroy another tower. While they do it, gonna destroy Azir's tower, and Goliath, only one left, take on 4.
Easily steamrolled into the ground as they immediately turn their sights from Baron onto the entirety of Genesis, and now onto their base. And that is going to, it looks like, be Baron maybe?
See, they stopped doing Baron. They stopped doing Baron last time. Just get the 4 kills. And they allow Gaming just to make it out, Live Gaming just to make it out once more. Possibly have another chance to stop a Baron that will inevitably be being taken at some point. It's only 2 players against 3 Slayers. Might have popped a little bit too far forward. He stuns the Karma, but there's 4 other players, and that's a Super Mega Death Rocket. Too much damage as the credit goes over to Blonde to handle it.
Very nicely done. A very unfortunate caught out Stellaris as they turn their sights immediately onto what is now a free Baron. Imp does have that teleport available, could pull some risky business, but it does not look like he is going to.
I see Pimp just hanging on the bottom side of the map. I don't know where he's walking to. He's trying, maybe just warding the dragon, warding the Infernal Drake. That will inevitably be targeted by Scott's Tots next. They have the Baron, they have the power to take it. Just Cho'Gath sitting on the other side. Just waiting. Wait, at 2,000 health. Tries to get a knockup, not going to be enough. It's right, he's going to take it. Jumping over Gnar. No one else with him, no one wanting to challenge him. Be a free 4 Drakes.
Now, it does look like we are going to end up seeing a little bit of a reset from them, and then potentially a bot lane shove.
What would you do? Is that what you do?
I would shove 4 as bot lane, and then I would send Vital top. That's what I would do. But that looks like that's exactly what they're doing.
Seems like they're hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. 3 minutes behind. They're like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
Are you secretly playing this game? Because it seems like
no,
exactly what's
I'd
happening.
be feeding, unfortunately. I'm actually I'm that cannon minion right there. That one right there. See?
Oh, sick.
That's me. Yeah.
Alright, awesome. To see.
Oh, fuck, I'm dead again.
Yeah, here's Stellaris. Foreign guy just popping into ground to dodge the Crystal Arrow TP coming in from Gnar, coming to jump right in. He lost the Megadar in the middle of a TP. So the Tai T Latte still going down. Pimp, the one in the front, trying to slow going down, but Doc in the middle of 5. He fears 5. Sai, that is 8. Stellaris also going down. Shanks with a triple kill. Quang X still going forward. Quadra kill, but gonna be stolen by his support Blonde Halfling. Gonna be taking the pentakill away from Quang X in game number 1. Scott's Tots taking.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Scott's Tots securing the first game of this excited best of 3. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with some more exciting action for game 2 with Genesis Gaming versus Scott's Tots.
Just to try the grown-up way. I don't know over the phone if you feel the same. And we could blow the lights out of this town, you know, and the dark outside our hearts so glow, 'cause we love blue. More than
strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 Creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
time worth wasting. Freedom, just lose control. Freedom, just let it go. Free and release all the pain that you're feeling. Tip your head back, put your hands to the ceiling. Freedom, just lose control. Freedom, just let it go. Deep down inside your heart that's racing. There's no time worth wasting.
Leave me here, you were never good enough. Won't change a thing now, there was never trust. Don't you say a word, cause I've heard it all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dominate Risen Week 7, where we saw Genesis Gaming and Scott's Tots play. Just previously, Scott's Tots with a commanding win in the first game. See if they're able to replicate that just domination in the second game. I'm here with Coach Kaiser. I'm Aaron Canadian Head, and we're ready to bring you this game 2.
Yeah, man, and like you said, game 1 was a pretty commanding victory, right? And it'll be interesting to see what we see Genesis Gaming try to change coming into game 2 to try and kind of negate a little bit of that power that we saw from Scott's Tots in game 1. Are you expecting any changes in terms of the picks that we're going to see from these two teams?
I mentioned changes, but it seems like it's already going to happen as Heckman going to be banned by Genesis Gaming. Not doing so well with the ganks on that champion. Probably going to be taking that out very quickly. Outside of that, seeing a lot of support bans once again from these teams, not wanting Fandor or Blonde Halfling to have a chance to play with those playmaker supports. Also, Rek'Sai being banned out, such a strong pickup with the Conqueror being such a domination in the jungle, as well as ganks with the Conqueror rune around now, especially with Lulu as well as we head into the picks.
Yeah, and you guys talked about that last game. There was a lot of kind of support targeted bans. I think there was 3 bans in game 1 coming out towards the support role from Genesis Gaming, banning out Blonde Halfling, that is. So it's curious that we're seeing that much action happening in the bot lane in terms of the bans, and as we're seeing the first pick come through, the Sejuani is going to be a priority pick, like we've kind of seen so far in the last couple patches. She just is a consistent hard CC tank frontliner that just works out so well for a variety of different team comps right now.
For sure, allowing the CC, just someone that, sometimes you struggle to find out how you're going to fit all the parts of your composition into your team. And Sejuani allowing that to be placed in the jungle. Usually we see fighters or we see kind of divers on those positions, but Sejuani really by herself in that role, able to be that tainted the CC as she goes in. And I was seeing a Zyra and Ryze picked up outside Genesis Gaming.
Yeah, and the Ryze pickup is a little interesting because he's not necessarily a weak champion right now, but he's definitely not one of the top tier that everybody's playing. If you're somebody that has played the champion a lot in the past and understands his rotation and everything, he can definitely be a powerhouse in that mid lane. And we'll see if it even is played in the mid lane, honestly. It could be rotated to the top lane. It just kind of depends on what these guys prefer, but also seeing the Ashe and the MF hovered right now, which is kind of weird.
Oh. Yeah, seeing Ashe MF, something that happened a long time ago in the bot lane. I'm wondering if it's going to be happening once again, unless they want to switch it up and put one of these two into the soul lane. But the constant CC that these two adds, having them make it rain on the MF, along with the volley from the Ashe, and then both ultimates as well, adding so much pressure to a kill lane like that. It seems like Kwang X and Blonde Halfling really show their hand what they want to do with this bot lane like they did last game.
I mean, which one do you think is going to be the support then if they're both played in the bot lane?
Before it was the Ashe, it was the MF that played support, since she has more quality poke with the Make It Rain, more easier for her to proc the Spell Thief's Edge with Make It Rain for a large circle to try to hit one of the champions, so able to make her income as well as Ashe. So previously it's been MF as the support, since there are so many supports coming in. It makes sense they're trying to branch out and bring some things back. I've seen Jarvan be the last pick in that.
Yeah, and a couple of power picks banned out there. The Vladimir, the Cho'Gath, the Aurelia that we've seen a lot in this recent patch. And the Sylas also being banned out as well. Definitely a champion, kind of like Ryze, where if you're just good at him, it works out for a good team comp. But gonna see the Jhin picked up here as the first pick, and we've got still the solo laners for Scott's Tots to be picked up, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna decide to go with here.
Especially with Jhin being picked up when he sees the bot lane already taken. He's the poke that they're gonna have. Jhin, usually not the best around this time of the game, but I guess the long range that he provides with his W and his ultimate not having to be as close to the opponents could be a good way to try to counteract that. On the other side, two very powerful solo lanes picked up on side of Scott's Tots.
Yeah, I mean, the RH has been such a power pick recently. You know, easily one of the strongest mid lane mages right now, and then Jace just gonna have a lot of poke. He's gonna be annoying in that top lane, and if he can survive through the top lane, and if the rest of his team continues to play as well as they did in game 1, they shouldn't have any problem with the Jace helping them push down in the late game and really provide a lot of poke so that the team fight is going to be a lot weaker coming out from Genesis.
Last thing coming in here, you have the Kennen picked up to round out the composition for the side of Gladiator Gaming. So seeing these two teams finally finished up, how do you feel about these two teams and how they're going to perform within this matchup here?
Man, I see what Genesis is going for. They've definitely put together a solid team fight comp, right? The Zyra on top of the J4 Cataclysm and the Kennen Ultimate, Jhin being able to sit at long range, and Ryze hopefully doing his own thing in the middle of these team fights. But at the same time, with how dominant we saw Scott's Tots play in game 1, I feel like their kind of pick poke style comp should be able to be very successful if they can be as ahead as they were in game 1. And we'll kind of just have to see at this point.
Sure, all these champions, really Sejuani the only one that is really set up to in these 5v5s. Like we see Genesis once again, we saw last game and trying to invade each other's jungles. They're all teamed up as 5 again, also in the wrong parts of the jungle. We'll see if it actually ends up meeting at some point as they are headed down to where their station.
They haven't seen each other yet.
Once again, not seeing each other. Where does Stellaris go? Do they go bottom or top?
I want them to stand still for a little bit.
Looks like they're backing. Cloud is blacking.
Yeah, don't walk into that bush.
Just seen. Yeah. Smart.
Good,
Smart
yeah,
people here.
good call from Scott's Tots to not face check the bush when you haven't seen anybody else.
I was watching a game earlier where actually both went to the bottom bush of mid lane, and the blue side had a Shen, Vel'Koz, and Nami. So Shen taunts all 5 of them, with Nami getting a bubble on 5, and then a knockup from Vel'Koz, and you just get an instant 5-man kill to start off the game.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like, what the heck just happened in this game? But,
yeah.
Here goes seeing these two teams begin. Ruby Crystal start from Ryze. Sapphire Crystal start from Ryze, not going for the Dorn's Ring, but going for the straight mana to have as much as possible. Looking around, trying to see, as we see a cleanse come out from him, trying to hold back from the charm of Ari. Outside that, not really seeing much outside of the ordinary at this point.
Yeah, not really. I mean, we see lethal tempo on the Ashe. That's getting to be a little more meta these days, the lethal tempo. And having Jin run the electrocute, I guess that works.
Yes. I thought it was maybe get the plant pop along with the long range W and then the final explosion.
Yeah, he's just playing for the long range there with that.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, with this lane they gotta do what they can. And with that, seeing an early gank from Stellaire / forward from Tandora, seeing it happen, just backing off very quickly.
Yeah, at the very least forcing the flash out of Quang there. You know, got something for it. It didn't look like that was going to hit, but it was just close enough where he was worried. So, works out okay in his favor in the end.
Yes, we're also seeing Sejuani take advantage of that, pushing forward into the enemy jungle. He's trying to take the Raptors for himself before anything else happens. You see Stellaire moving his pressure up towards the mid lane.
Yeah, he's gone now across the map without clearing any camps. Maybe not the best or most optimal route for J4 to be making going across the map so quick, but and wasn't able to make it there in time to contest that scuttle crab, which is what he was hoping for.
So you see already an advantage for Doc, and the Speed I'm sure it's just a little bit further ahead to level 4 with the camp that she's gotten. See Sejuani just hanging out in the bush, trying to wait for her time to strike against Side T Latte this time.
Yeah, and Rise, not the most mobile, but like you mentioned earlier, he does have cleanse, so he should be able to got this.
And there it is, instantly popped.
Yeah.
Has no mana left, so Along back off already. Anyways.
Yeah.
Soon, there he goes.
He's just gonna go to base, yeah. I mean, like I said, doesn't have any pots left. Doesn't have the mana to be able to really sit there and contest it. It was a good charm coming out from Ari, so not able to do too much there, honestly.
Not sure, it looks like they're both dropping pretty low in the top lane. Fire Kid taking hit after hit onto Vital. It's a bit too much main damage, has to back off before he gets the kill on him. And we see some backs in the mid lane. Have the tier picked up from Rise. That's exactly what I wanted to back with. And we see not a full item, but 2 amplifying tomes on the side of foreign guy himself. That we see a Mountain Drake. Mountain Drake, the first Drake this time.
Yeah, it should be pretty beneficial. Everybody loves having a Mountain Drake before Baron spawns, before even Riftail comes up, you know? It'll definitely help for the speed of the game as we get working into the mid game, late game.
For sure enough, as these things all kind of transpire, trying to see where the first backs come in from other lanes. Just push for lethality on Jin, getting the Quarter Belt on the cannon. We go for the Cinder Hulk on the side of Sejuani or Doc. So seeing where these players actually plan on rushing what items they want.
Yeah, J4 getting spotted out there in the bot lane, unfortunately.
Sure, what a nice way to begin this. A nice way to begin fair play as the first blood. He tried once before, so it's still the flashless Ashe on Scott's Totts. They're still able to do that if they want to. Backs come in as well from them. So they're gonna get the first backs. How much they're backing with. So they go for the BF sword easily. BF sword on Ashe, if she does decide to back, she has a 1650 in pocket. Is able to do it, so just push this in, hopefully get that themselves. As we look around and see how these first items impact the game.
Yeah, first items getting picked up, like you mentioned, the BF sword going over for Jin. Actually, the started the Blade of the Ruined King being picked up for Ashe there. You get the Scimitar, so a little bit different itemization coming out for both these ADCs, and I'm curious to see what the MF ends up building here throughout the early game, because I don't know, with this support MF, I don't feel like there's a very clear or strict build that you need to go for. So I'm curious to see what Blonde Halfling decides to pick, especially just a reminder that he was the one that was banned pretty heavily in both matches so far.
Not sure, but again, this Ashe MF actually picked up, I believe, in the finals of I think Rock's Tigers got it 2 or 3 years ago when Zyra support was so strong. So the actual counter to try to fight against Zyra's range was to go with an MF support, and it just completely changed the way the turn was run after that, because it was shown up and it did so well, so people really prized that as a pick, as a duo in the bot lane to counter the Zyra. Really allowing this to happen, but here comes Doc as the whole time. No need for Doc, and just slowing down Goliath at this point.
He did throw the ultimate out there too, and Zyra just died before the ultimate even connected.
Yeah. So sad. That glacial prison is just gonna be useless for the next couple of minutes. Alright, let's get the first blood finally on the game.
Yeah, and Vital's starting to put out a lot of damage onto the Kennen in the top lane as well. So across the board, even though it's still very even at this point, Scott's Totts seems to be carrying over a little bit of their control, a little bit of maybe their proactivity from game 1.
Here we go, as we see a little bit of the proactivity happening. Scott's Totts, their whole thing was they get the ADC ahead, get Queen X ahead on the Jinx last time against the Ashe, now playing the Ashe themselves. Just wanted to see how fast they can get that done. Door trying to just push them out on this Ashe. Here comes the current call, flash forward, Dead Door trying to knock them up. Not able to do it. Queen X just taking a few hits from the current call.
Yeah, that was
make it out safely.
A bit forced. Trying to make something happen there. Again, blowing a flash, right? MF blew her flash to make sure stayed safe there, but both your they burned both their ultimates and the flash just to be able to make that happen. So
sure, we see it. Actually, Stellatrix able to steal the blue buff right before Doc makes it. Able to make that safe and clearly. Mountain Drake still not picked up. It's Rift Herald spawning. Rift Herald spawned just maybe 5 seconds ago. So it's up. We have epic monsters all over the map at this point. So it's which one they want to go for, which one they make a push for. And this moment of time, since it is still quite close, a lot closer than it was in the previous game, with the Crystal Arrow landing onto Jhin, bullet time. Everything together, but he's going to make it out. Tandora a little bit too far ahead. Ignite on the MF. She's going to be taken out as well. I kill on both of the ADCs this time around.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's MF that's picked up the 2 kills in the bot lane. Not that she won't still be able to use that gold for something, but it's not going onto the Ashe. Whereas, like you mentioned, Jhin just got that kill for the side of Genesis. So, a little bit of a favorable trade going over for them.
Sure, seeing them do a little bit better than last game. And let's see the strategy that they had, that Scott's Totts came in with. Last game, countered that just a little bit. Vital jumping in on the cannon, taking a whole whack of damage. Vital almost hitting a shock blast. Not gonna be hitting in the end. He's down in mana, so he's gonna be able to back off very quickly.
Yeah, but he's definitely doing a good job of winning those trades right now in the top lane. The mid lane, it's stayed pretty even, and we see Ryze getting ahead a little bit in the CS there. Not coming out as favorable as you would hope for Foreign Guy.
Exactly, Foreign Guy not doing the best. He was also saw the Ryze beforehand, picked the RE into it, but doesn't actually have anything after that to do. She has the wants to go for Luden's Echo. We see an Archangel Staff wanting to be built from the Rise. So one going for straight damage, one going for prolong, for waiting it out. So again, we have 4 Doc and a foreign guy. Just hanging out in the bot lane, trying to get out, but a backman coming in. They used up. It's not that damage.
Yeah, the side of Genesis playing it smart. They weren't face checking that area of the river where they had no vision. Instead, they brought 5 people down and actually starting up the Drake here, which is kind of a bold move.
Yeah, definitely bold moves. That Crystal Arrow doesn't hit the Rise, but it hits the Jhin on the backside. That's a slicing Maelstrom on 3. The Current gets opened up. Blonde Halfling taking down Goliath is awarded the kill, as well as Fire Kid getting one of his own. They take the lead in the game 2.
Yeah, Ari trying to make a fight here happen afterwards, but just unfortunate. Oh man, the shock blast coming through. A ton of damage right there.
Little Bird able to do what they can. Charmed up Fire Kid. Deltrick still looking for some damage. It's gonna back off in the mid lane as no Drake still taken.
Yeah, and that was a decent little turnaround with Vital joining the fight, getting the TP in. But unfortunate for the side of Scott's Tots, just dropping a little bit there, a little uncoordinated with the start of that fight.
I'm sure now we watch as Scott's Tots gonna be able to grab that first dragon of the game as the mountain. See the repair will be pushed up. Vital just gets some vision around that. Well, after we almost see Genesis Gaming able to get the dragons taken by Scott's Tots once again.
And right now, I mean, this game is definitely going a lot slower than game 1. It's not 19-3 in favor of Scott's Tots right now, so it's definitely a win so far for Genesis. They've been able to slow the play down, not make too rash of decisions.
Especially looking at the champions they have the Ari, they have the MF, they have the Jays, all that want to get so far ahead quickly. At this point seems to be holding back. They have, as Genesis Gaming has a huge team fighting comp, as you're saying in the Champion Select, have so many tools to engage, have so many ways of turning around a fight. There are huge ultimates they've used. They're able to plan those out and just change how this game concludes.
Yeah, looking to make a gank here happen in the top lane. They don't know that J4 is sitting in the bush waiting as well.
As I see Maelstrom going to be landing onto 2. He goes golden, but he's stunned up by the Glacial Prison. He's in the middle of a Cataclysm. Cataclysm just holding them safe until Ari comes.
Ari.
It's a double kill. 2 kills in top lane.
Yeah, nice rotation coming out from Ari. They probably would have traded 1 for 1 or gotten just the 1 kill out of that exchange in the top lane, but foreign guy roaming up top, able to secure the double kill, and that's definitely what they needed coming out from Scott's Tots.
Yeah, they wanted this game to go any differently. They needed to do something quick, and that's exactly what they did. We see a bounty already on the head of Vital. He's trying to do what he can to just maximize that lead and push it forward, as he has the CS lead. That's the only CS lead that they have in their lanes. And it's already not doing the best against Taiti Latte because of the roaming. So that alright, even with the Jhin and Ashe.
Yeah.
See a few of the first items coming in.
Yeah, they're finishing off a little bit. Got the Blade of the Ruined King finished. The IE is finished up there. In the top lane, got the Hex Tech finished off for Kennen, or the Proto Belt rather. And I mean, right now it's kind of surprising that we're still in the laning phase as much as we are for these two teams after watching game 1.
Yeah, it seems like 14 minutes is when they tried to have laning phase finish because of the turret plates. But if no one's hitting the turret, it's going to stick around for a little bit longer. Bullet time coming in on the Jhin. Jin able to make it out just for a little bit, just trying to hold on to their wards. But here comes two from behind. Stellatrix and Side T Latte doing some damage on Queen X. He's going to be falling. Current call opened up, and Dora falls.
Yeah, but they got one.
Yeah, Blonde Halfling stuck underneath. And Stellatrix takes one turret shot too many.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and just give up this turret. They got one in the top lane in response. They also are summoning the Rift Herald in the top lane, which is a great move. And actually, MF able to defend the turret pretty decently because the side of Genesis is backing off to try to defend their turrets. They just lost one in the mid lane. They're losing their second in the top lane. So that whole rotation down there in the bot lane has just lost a lot for Genesis.
Scott's Totts doing such a good job trying to split this team apart. Whenever they see too many on one lane, they prioritize the others. You see that as they see both tier 1 and tier 2 turrets were taken in that little amount of time. That's where they tried to get just one turret in the bottom lane, take the Raptors, take everything for themselves. Genesis Gaming trying to find something to grab onto at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, they're not really super far behind right now. It's just we're seeing a little bit better decision making coming out from Scott's Tots in that last minute of play where they went and made the rotation to the bot lane. Was just not very optimal just because they weren't able to get the 2 kills out of it. They didn't have the Cataclysm or the follow-up really to get the double kill without losing anybody. And now they might lose people here.
For sure, you see a Glacial Storm with the bullet time. They knock him up. Crystal Arrow coming inside. Timing Maelstrom trying to get stuns, but they just get out just in time. Cleanse pop by Side T Latte to escape the charm. Power Kid rushing after Vital. Vital sitting on the tower trying to survive. Just chooses shockwaves just to do extra damage. Now the Dragon up. Just a Cloud Drake at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kwang's Crystal Arrow missed coming from downtown, or else maybe they would have been able to turn that around. But anyways, the 1v1 in the bot lane, Kwang is able to come out on top of the Jhin, which is probably not something that should happen.
Definitely not. Seeing the items on the side of Ashe, not really having many damage items, but just has the sheer attack speed add on. But here comes Dogu trying. This is just adds some pressure. Horn guy ulting in, gonna get the charm on to Side T Latte, and that's gonna be killing the mid lane as we speak. Once again, the bot lane seeing just the attack speed items, not really any damage, but has the lethal tempo like we were saying before, just to maximize the damage that they can do in the 1v1. That's something wrong with Jhin in a 1v1 if he doesn't have his shots reloaded, and if that 4th shot doesn't kill, he's gonna have to wait a long time before he's able to shoot again. So it's two different ways of the one-on-one. Like Ashe, on top of that one.
Yeah, and I mean, didn't have her ult, although at the same time, Goliath on the Jhin, not really using an ult in a 1v1 unless somebody's running away. But right now, I would like to see a little bit more action, honestly, come out from Scott's Tots. You've gotten an advantage. Start to really push it around the neutral objectives. We see them kind of grouping up around this Drake, so hopefully they're going to go for that here in a second. Actually, there's a fight for you.
That was amazing with the hawk shot, able to see where Jhin was. Fire Kid trying to escape this slicing Maelstrom, but not going to be enough. Because this is the hawk shot over and able to just use the Crystal Arrow before it shoots it. Nail the Stellatrix away, so guaranteeing the smite fight in favor of Scott's Tots.
Yeah, not only are they going to pick up the Drake for that, they're also running straight down to the Baron. The rest of Genesis that are alive really not responding to the idea that they might go for Baron here. You see Zyra kind of rotating over, and she'll probably get vision on it. I don't think it's going to be early enough, though, unless she is able to steal it herself with the ultimate and Lance combo. And she doesn't have the ultimate, so that's not going to happen.
Either, I mean, one control ward, it's not even a control ward there, but they have this current call, but not going to be fast enough. They're able to make it out. Stellatrix jumping in. He has the Cataclysm, but he's not close enough. Jhin just freely taking the turrets on the bottom side as well. There's no one, since Battle Q is not alive, to contest it.
Yeah, the Jace is doing a great job of being his own split push pressure. And especially against this Kennen matchup.
Yeah, Kennen usually wants to be the one to do so. He countered Peg against the Jace, but Vital is showing his raw power on this champion in the one-on-one.
Yeah, Jace is, I want to say, in trouble, but at the same time, it seems like he might actually have a chance of getting away here. He doesn't know that Zyra rotated over. Oh man, wait, what? The flash.
So he has the QSS and he makes it down with Side T Latte. Gets CC, it also pops the cleanse. He has the wolves kill him as the Cataclysm jumps onto the REC. Stuck is just no other ultimate. Procs left. Crystal Arrow not gonna land as Goliath is able to survive. But kills in the most unlikely of ways in that fight.
Yeah, Jace making it out alive, Ari dashing in, getting a double kill, able to really turn that around in favor of Scott's Tots. And this is definitely what we were expecting to come out from them in this game.
Alright, there's Scott's Tots finally able to find their groove, find the way they win. Here, you see just all 5 about to spawn back up. They rotate over the top as they get the inhibitor in the middle. All 5 players from Gladiator Gaming spawning. Just want to watch out, just Genesis Gaming. Watching out. You know, these try to take a little bit too much tower hits. It's so low. Be a little bit 80 at this point.
They do have to be careful in the 4v5 right now. They don't want to get too ahead of themselves. Ari is rotating up. They're missing a couple. Oh.
There's a slicing maelstrom coming in from the cannon to start it all off. The current guard will take one out, but Vital got to return the kill. 3 on 4 at this point. Side T Latte falling a little bit behind. Vital taking a whole bunch of shots from the flanks. Ari just making it there. Now can they make a difference? The charm of Stellarix onto Stellarix. Able to take him down just a little bit, but Ari a little bit too late before the fight continues.
Yeah, losing the Ashe is probably the one person you definitely didn't want to drop there. They should still be able to push in and pick up this inhib though, with the Ari presence.
Especially with this Sejuani having the Warmogs. I think so much. My foreign guy gonna be rooted up, gonna be stunned up, gonna be rooted once again, but he's able to ult out of there. Not gonna be knocked up by Zyra ultimate either. SIG Latte looking for a kill, but he's stunned up, charmed, smacked on, knocked back. Like that with the movement speed. Stellarix finally jumping in his team, roll in his pocket. Crystal Arrow gonna stop the fight from happening as he might have lost 2 other teammates. Pandora trying to get away from Doc. Doc fighting onto 3v1. Pandora almost falling. Stellarix trying to keep it alive. The bullet time getting 1. Fire Kid knocking down Jin, getting a kill of his own into Ari in a 1-on-1. Outside of that, it's gonna be back up. Jin trying to get away.
Yeah, this is all over the place. Scott's Tots should have backed off a while ago. They take their time getting out because they keep seeing opportunities to be greedy and get kills. And I mean, they're getting them. They're trading fairly, but they just don't need to play around like this. They need to reset and go ahead and get ready to be able to end the game here.
Don't have to, but where's the fun in that, you know? Where I see 7 turrets in favor of 0. Have a 9,000 gold lead at 26 minutes. Just trying to hold on to what they can on the side of not Gladiator. Not Gladiator Gaming. What is it?
Oh, Genesis.
Genesis Gaming. Outside Genesis Gaming, trying to hold off. They see the Infernal Drake spawning as the last epic monster on the map at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're now finally regrouping, finally going to be able to focus on a neutral objective, get the Infernal Drake. They've got the 2 inhibs down, so they need to just, as a 5-man group, push in on this bot lane. And they shouldn't have any trouble. Keyword shouldn't.
They kind of had trouble in the so far with just not wanting to end, it seems like, but being a little bit too scared of what Genesis Gaming might do to them. They do push them a little bit too far. They're just taking it slow, make sure they get all 3 inhibitors before they push into the base to end. Smart idea is a Hawkshot sees 2 on their side. again, it looks like it's going to be a Crystal Arrow jumping in. MF able to take one out. Side T Latte on the run back as well. The rest of Genesis Gaming fight onto Vital, not able to get much onto him. Side T Latte taking a huge shockwave to the face. Once again, knowing me knocked up by another failed Syra ult, and Trier Kid gonna fall because of it. Side T Latte taking shot after shot from the focus hits on the Ashbon. Halfling gonna be finally taking him down. 2 left themselves. Red Turk gonna be falling in the bottom lane. Current call opening, but not gonna be enough. I don't think. Tandora in the front lines against a huge bear, but not gonna be enough. As once again, Scott's Totts gonna go, possibly gonna go 2-0 as they have to drop back a little bit as the Cataclysm comes out from Jarvik, gonna be falling as soon as he lands. Probably gonna be 2-0 for Scott's Totts in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, a good clean end there coming out. A little bit hectic for a couple minutes where they just constantly wanted to fight. They were being a little greedy with the kills, but a good clean wrap up there. Finding a good pick, you know, not letting the J4 stay too close and find a spot to get a favorable engage for Genesis Gaming, and just overall not giving them a chance to really get back in the game. They didn't really have an opportunity to find any good picks or anything like that on the key carries.
I'm sure as we see Todd come right back in, playing X doing so well within these past couple of games. Once again, any last words from the Coach Kaiser?
No, man. Fun series. Fun day. Quick day. I like it. Who do you think was your MVP since you saw both games?
MVP, I mean, Pangas did a great job within the first game to just allow his whole team to run free, as he was such a power in the game. There's Doc on the Hecarim as well as the Sejuani too. I mean, he did die on the Sejuani, able to constantly allow pressure on these games. Let's see, I don't know, either I'll switch between Doc and Quang X right now.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it as a tie. I'm not trying to break up the tie. But yeah, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Thanks for casting, Canadian. Thanks everybody for joining. And we'll catch you guys next time.